Alrighty, I'm sorry that the last video ended a little abruptly. I actually made some changes to your phone to make it easier for you, so we can go ahead and go into those now. So we're going to swipe to get to the next screen. Swipe, swipe, there we go. Okay, so you might notice that the pictures, buttons look a little bit different because I got rid of some stuff that you're just not going to need to get into. Okay, so let's start up here. We've got two bubbles with smaller pictures inside. Now what that means is that essentially these two items are folders that have two or more of these little buttons or icons inside. So to access those, all you have to do is press the little bubble. Press, come on. And what is inside the folder opens up. Now again, you're probably not going to need to use those. Let me turn on the lights because I think it's a little dark. Here's some Xfinity account information you won't need to get to. Now to close this out, all you do is tap in an empty part of the screen and it disappears. The next one is your Google folder. The Google stuff you'll need to use, I think, are already out on your phone. These are other icons, buttons that you can add if you feel like you need them. I don't think you will. At some point you may want to. And if you want to take something out of the folder to use it, what you would do is just tap the icon and drag it, and now it's not in the folder anymore. Now it's its own little button that you can press to access that. I don't think you're going to want to screw with the calendar, at least for a while. It's a nice function, but probably something that you're not going to use very often. So let's go ahead and put it back. So we're going to drag it. Put it back in the bubble. Oh, and it didn't quite catch it. Let's do it again. Nope, in the bubble, in the bubble. There we go. Now, why isn't it working? There we go. Okay. Sometimes you're just going to have to screw with it a little bit. Okay, so those are our bubbles that hold buttons. Actually, they're folders, but to me they look like little bubbles because they're circles and they've got, you know, the stuff inside. The next one is settings. Now these are all buttons that you would press to access the items directly. They're not in the folders, so it would just pop the item open. Settings, change the settings on the phone. Moto, you can use that to kind of take a tutorial of some of the things in your phone. There's a really good one in there for the camera, so I do recommend checking that out at some point. Device help, pretty explanatory. The Bitdefender security, I don't think you'll actually have to press on that one ever, as well as the Colorado exposure. You won't have to press on those, but because they're installed on your phone, there's going to be little pictures there, and they're harder to remove from the screens. So the Bitdefender security is always going to be running. The Colorado exposure, that's something that I put on your phone that really everybody in Colorado should have on their smartphone. Basically, it's tracking COVID. If you've been exposed to COVID, you'll get a notification that says, hey, you know, based on where you've been, and your phone always knows where you've been exposed to COVID, or if you end up getting COVID, it'll send notifications to other people saying, hey, this person had COVID and you've been exposed. Now, it's not going to say Vance Hetrick in Peyton, Colorado had COVID. The only thing that's going to pop up is a notice saying, hey, you've been exposed. So it's a handy little tool, and that's why I put it on your phone. The Play Store, that is where you're going to go to find all your apps. That's going to be a lot of fun. YouTube, that's where you can go to access YouTube videos. Rocket Player is your music player. That is the same as right here. And you're probably going to use this right here more than you'll use that Rocket Player button, but there it is. And then the next one is the cribbage game that you can decide you want to play. Okay, so that is what is on your second screen. Now in the next series of videos, we're actually going to press the buttons and go into different things. Now because you and I have the same buttons on our phone, those videos I can do on my own phone, but I wanted to show you stuff specifically on your phone so you can kind of follow along with the layout and everything else. I'll still try and use your phone, but this way I can get your phone back to you sooner. Alrighty, so we'll start getting specific. I know you're excited. I know you can't wait. And I know you're overwhelmed trying to learn all this at once. And it's not going to happen all at once. And it's going to, I mean, give yourself a couple months just to learn the things that I'm showing you in these videos. It's going to take a couple months, but you'll get it. You will. I have faith in you. I know you can do it. Go Vance! Yay!